super hype. I've got my man Robbie G here, and really excited to do this interview with you, bro, because of all the people that I've come across in this online music space, you're one of the few legit people, and in fact, you're the only seven-figure independent artist I've personally come in contact with where I'm like, oh, yep, this guy, right? Like you're doing it, and I'm really excited that you're launching something to help under other independent artists. And that's really why I wanted to do this interview with you, right? Talk about your story, talk about some value that we can discuss, talk shop, and then also like expose you to my audience because I have so many artists there. And so, yeah, I appreciate your time, energy, and attention. And Robbie G, welcome to the YouTube channel. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. So, I mean, in a nutshell, bro, I know it's hard in a nutshell because you have such a long journey, but what is your journey, right? Talk about like the beginning of how you got started with music and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, I mean, my introduction was Get Rich or Die Trying. My brother, he's 2.5 years older than me. He shared that album with me, and he was playing basketball at the time. And I remember going to his basketball games and just had, the CD player, and I was just bumping that on repeat. I was like, this is fucking incredible. And then I got the Marshall Mathers LP. That was my next introduction. I just like fell in love with hip hop from then on. I grew up, my mom listened to country music and my dad listened to rock, so that was really all that we would listen to, like in the vehicles as I was with either one of them. And then once I got hip hop, it was like, this is my music, this is my thing. So I was so happy to get that from my brother, and it just led me down a path. At that time I was writing poetry, and my I think it was my philosophy teacher asked me, she knew that I wrote poems, and she's like, hey, we're doing this fundraiser for AIDS in Africa. Would you be willing to write like a song about this? And so me and my friend Bird at the time, we had just started like writing our first raps, and we were recording on a karaoke machine to cassette tapes. And so I wrote this song for the project that she asked me to write it about, and did it to like an old Kanye West instrumental, and brought it in, and she loved it so much they played it on the announcements in school. So I was like walking down the hallways of school with my song like playing on the speakers, and like kids would be passing me like, oh my God, like that's you on the, like that's so cool, da 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 da. That was like my first little like taste of like what it's like getting recognition for the music that you make. So yeah, and it was a great cause too. So I think our school raised like a ton of money during that fundraiser, and it was nice to be a part of it and be involved in it. So that was the introduction and the journey into falling in love with music. And then we did a music competition down in Toronto where I got together like the crew of guys that I had, which we were called the Immaculates at the time. It was me and four other friends. One of us was a producer. The other three were artists. My best friend, Bird, who's still my creative director to this day. We've been friends for over 20 years. So it was our group, and we went down to Toronto to do this competition. And this guy, Jim Purdy, like saw us and was like, "Oh, you guys are so amazing. Like, love your sound. I want to like represent you guys, and take your music down to Nashville and to all these different record labels and try and shop you out." He was like, "I can get you a deal with Epic Records." And at that time, we were so in our minds thinking that a record deal was the next step in the cycle, is like, hey, now that we've made music, we got to get a record deal, then we'll blow up and become famous and it'll all be good. And that turned out to be a complete fucking lie. He was like, yeah, sign me for $5,000 US and I will be your agent and shop you out to these record labels and get you a deal. The day that I sent him the money, which was literally all my savings at that time, I was maybe like 19, 20 years old. He took it all and then stopped answering calls, stopped answering emails, basically fell off the face of the earth. So, and I was like, how is this even possible? Like, this competition seemed so reputable. It was like all real industry people. There was a ton of other artists there that were like participating in this showcase. I was like, how can somebody just weasel their way into something like this and then become a complete snake? And that was my intro to the music game, is like trusting somebody with my career and with my money. And after that, I realized like I'm not ever trusting somebody again with my future, and like having this pipe dream blown up my asshole thinking that I can just like get a record deal and make it. So I'm going to figure out how to make it on my own. And the one thing that he had told us was, you know, if you can't make it in your hometown, you can't make it anywhere else, which I kind of believe to a certain extent, but that gave me the fuel to create my own shows. So I started booking shows in the small town that I was going to high school in, which is Fergus, Ontario, population of like 10,000 people. I rented the community hall out and set up a gig, put tickets on sale. We sold about 150 tickets and I made about like $1,000 in profit off that first show. And that was like, oh my God, we can actually make money with this and do something. So I took that money, reinvested it into the career. I think I'd made like 500 mixtapes and went and sold those on the street and just all grassroots, you know, just like started small and then took the money that I made from that, reinvested it into buying merchandise, t-shirts, hats, and stuff like that, and just did more shows, started getting on other showcases in like bigger cities like Toronto and in some of the sister cities around the area. I got my first official booking from some girl that found me on YouTube, DJ Cash in London, and she brought me out for this rap battle event that she had, and she wanted me to be the like headliner performer for it. There was like literally 15 people there, but she paid me like, I don't know, it was like 100 or 150 bucks to go there and do it. And then since then I just started stacking up like gigs with other people and built my company, started booking shows in Guelph, and then it just started ballooning to now we run shows in 72 markets across the country from coast to coast. Last year I did 200 shows in one calendar year. And yeah, I've made a lot of money from music and made a lot of fans. And yeah, so in a nutshell, I know that was a little long-winded, but yeah, that's the story.
Dude, your story, bro, I'm so glad you shared all of that. That is so sick. So much, bro. There's so many gems out of that, and I want to pull one out. I want to pull out the when you got scammed. Because I got scammed once for 250 bucks. No big deal. At the time I freaked out over it. 5 grand is not nothing at that
US.
age. Yeah,
US. So it was
five
like
grand
10
US.
Canadian, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I want to know something though, right? Because obviously, like in that moment, you're probably like, oh my God, I got scammed. Like this is terrible, blah, blah. But at this point in your career, would you look at that experience? How do you look at that experience now?
It taught me a lesson every single time that I've fallen on my face or failed or lost money. It's always taught me a lesson, and I've come back super strong after that. And it honestly puts like an extra fuel under my ass because I'm just like, I want to prove that person wrong and like fuck that person for doing that to me. And I'm going to end up making way more money than they'll ever make in their lives. They think, oh, I got you over because I took, 5K US out of your pocket. I'm like, dude, I'm going to make that times 1,000 within the next few years. And I literally have.
Mm,
And I'm gonna
mm.
make times 10,000 over the next 10 years. So yeah.
After that moment, did you ever have any other moments where you were still trying to pursue getting a record deal?
Not really. No, no. I
No.
kind of went, this is the independent route. I followed people like Tech Nine, people like Russ, people that, just figured out a way to do it independent. And I know those guys have both used labels for distribution deals and stuff like that, or had label deals in the past that have gone wrong. But I just heard so many horror stories from artists trusting record labels with their career and them being shelved and them also having to deal with the record label's creative control, which I never wanted anybody trying to tell me what I'm going to do with my songs. Like I'm going to make the music that I want to make regardless. So yeah, I've just always stayed true to that and never really gone the record label route. There has been times where I've talked with different companies that have, either tried to push a distribution deal on my table. I remember going to have a meeting with this guy in Toronto that had like plaques all on his wall, and he's like, "Oh, this is a hit that I helped work on, and this one, and da 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 da." And you kind of like, and it felt so greasy. And the same thing, he's just like, "Give me this amount of money, and I'll shop your songs out to this label or that label." And I'm so glad I didn't because I didn't even have good music at that time. It wasn't like, and I've trusted. I went to a studio in Toronto once and was paying $500 a song to record these songs, and I had no fucking clue what I was doing. The songs were garbage. Like Like those songs have not made me a penny, you know. I don't even think any of them exist on any mixtapes or albums that I have put out. So just learning how to do it myself was key. Like you go through the reps and get better by yourself in your own home studios. Like I've been in studios with other people and done some co-writing and done some co-producing and stuff, but the the songs that I make that are the best songs and the songs that I've put out that have done the best are all songs that I made by myself, literally by myself, nobody else there, not even another engineer in the room with me recording, tracking the vocals myself, mixing them down, sending them to an engineer to polish up, and like doing it all myself. So yeah, I'm not really trying to pursue the record label route. Like I don't think ever. I don't think I ever will.
Hmm. And overall, rhetorical question, but you'd say that's a good thing that that experience happened and it never led you down the record label path, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been cool to have a record label find us early on, and I think we had some music at that time that was really fucking good and could have gone places if it was put in the right hands and in the right ears. But again, it would have been one of these things where it's basically just a glorified loan from a bank where it's like, hey, here's $1 million or $100,000 with all these caveats on it. And then you end up going into debt trying to pay back the money that they've advanced you. It's not what it's all cracked out to be.
Hmm. Yeah. And the other thing I heard there in that experience was like you invested in yourself. You proved to yourself that you're willing to invest a lot of money into yourself.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. And so right now, I want to get into your business model, right? I want to get into this because, you found a really great avenue with producing shows, right? And you had even said you've done shows in how many markets did you say?
I mean, we run shows in about 72 markets across the country, but I've done shows in probably over 100, like in other places as well. Like I've gone to Europe and down South America and stuff like that too. So, yeah, but specifically in Canada, there's about 72 different markets that we work in.
And so, okay, let's start with that. It's like the 72 markets you're working in here in Canada. I don't know why I said here. I'm not in Canada. I'm in California. You're in Canada. But like in Canada, are you always performing or are you putting on shows where you're not performing?
Yeah, I'm at the point now where we put on events. Like sometimes I'll have three, four events happening in the same weekend, and I can only be in one place at one time, right? So I've got teams in other cities that kind of handle on the ground.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got it. And I mean, dude, the one thing that really popped out, you said last year you did 200 shows.
Hmm.
That's a lot more than a show a week. There's only 52 weeks. I think, God dang, if we do the math here, because I had to use my cat. You're doing 3.8. You're doing about 4 shows per week
Yeah,
every week last year on average.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
How'd you sleep
You're
that year?
I mean, I've learned how to balance, you know. I'm pretty skilled at it now, and it's not like it just was 200 out of nowhere. It was like my first year touring, I did like 10 shows in the year. Next year was 30 shows. Next year was 50 shows. Next year was 70 shows. Then it was 100. Then it was 120. Then 150 to now get up to the point where I can do 200, which I wouldn't advise that for many artists because I did burn myself out by the end of the year. I was like, I don't even want to do any shows for a while and like just kind of shut my phone off for a bit because it was just overwhelming. And I went through a divorce last year, so I was basically just burying myself in my work. Probably not the healthiest thing to do for people. And I learned the lesson the hard way on that. But yeah, I mean, it is possible. I've done it. I know that I can do it. And if I have to get into a situation like that in the future, I know that I'm fully capable of doing that many shows in a calendar year. So yeah, it's just a matter of balancing, knowing how to eat healthy on the road, staying active, working out, running, jogging, keeping my stamina up. And I also quit smoking weed all of last year, which I had been addicted to that for like 16, 17 years of my life. So that was a big shift for me. It gave me a lot more energy to operate at a high level. I hired a business coach that like doubled my business last year as well. So that was a big change and a big factor for that. And yeah, I just wanted to win. You know what I mean? I just was so obsessed with winning and getting on the road and meeting new people. I make this music not for myself. I make it so that I can share it with people. And the best feeling ever is like sharing it in front of a crowd of people and having them come up to you after and tell them how much the music's affecting their lives.
Mm,
Like that's my crack. That's my addiction.
mm. That's awesome. Good for you for all of that, bro. That's a lot of growth last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to also dive into how you go from no shows, 10 shows, somehow scaling it to 200 shows. Like when let's start with the 10 shows, right? Like let's say someone wants to go from zero to doing 10 shows in a year. Like let's say, hey, we're going into 2026. I want to do 10 shows. How exactly, bro, does that work, right? Are you like, are venues paying you, or are you being like, hey, we're going to pay the venue, we're going to rent the venue and sell tickets? Can you walk me through? Let's just even do one show. Let's walk through it right now. Hey, we're going to go do one show in this city. How do we set all that up? How does that work?
Yeah. I mean, the visual of it is you start in your hometown and then you just start doing this.
Hmm.
You just
Bigger
start
circle, bigger circle.
But
Yep.
you just you do like you're doing shows in your hometown and then you do a show in the town that's 30 minutes away from you and then you do one in the town that's an hour away from you and then an hour and a half and then 2 hours away from you and 3 hours and 4 hours and 8 hours and 10 hours and then you just build it like that slowly, like taking a big breath of air. You're just expanding that market reach. To walk you through my process, I would say now about 90% of the shows that I do, I'm the one curating everything, maybe even 95%. I'm just so hands-on and creative control over that kind of thing because I've been burned so many times in the past where I went out to do tours in places or go and do an out of town show and the promoter literally would like be at the door collecting money and by the end of the night when you go to get paid they're gone. They're nowhere to be found. You know what I mean? They just take the money at the door and dip out. Don't pay the headliners. Don't pay. It happens so much, especially in hip hop. It's disgusting. Like in country and rock, I don't think it's as big a thing, especially not in like EDM and stuff like that. But in hip hop, there's just so many snakes and so many slime balls, and they're robbing people left, right, and center. They're like getting you to pay a buy on to like pay to get on a show out of town in the hopes that you'll like make some merch sales to make it back, which I have done those things in the past. I've done buy-ons to like big tours, paid like, $200 or $300 a show to get on a tour that I ended up selling, $1,000 or $1,500 in merch every night, made back the buy-on, made enough money to cover my hotel, my gas, my meals, everything, and walked away with a little bit of profit. But early days, I had no idea what I was doing. My merch wasn't built up to the inventory level that it is now. And I'd go to a city or a string of cities and come back 5 grand in the hole from doing a tour or 10
Mm,
grand in the hole from doing a tour. So it cost a lot of money to learn those lessons. And now I've gotten to the point where like I don't really lose on shows anymore because I understand the maths to it. But to answer your question is how I book a show in another city or even book a show in my hometown is yes, I will approach the venue and say, hey, I'm looking to book a show on this date. We'll negotiate if that date's available. If it's not, maybe we do it this date or that date. If I'm looking for the Friday, maybe we'll take the Saturday or the Thursday or the Sunday. And with hip hop early on, a lot of the venues that I'd call, they'd be like, what kind of show do you want to do? Oh, a hip hop show. No, we don't do those here. That's violent. That brings violence, drugs, guns. We don't want that shit here. And I had to like win over a lot of venues and be like, no, that's not the type of crowd that we bring. I've run X amount of shows. We've never had any problems there, never had the cops called, never had somebody stabbed or shot or anything like that, because that stuff does happen. Even here in Canada, there's times that shows happen where people get shot and killed. And I've been to events where literally I like somebody comes and shoots up the whole front and kills like two bouncers and hits stray bullets, hit three, four other people. And I was like 5 minutes away from me being that person standing out front when that happened. Like that shit happens. It's crazy. So I really pride myself on curating events and booking artists that don't have that kind of like gangster appeal and don't attract the wrong kinds of crowds. My shows start on time. they run early. They're not, going till 2 in the morning when people are super hopped up on drugs and alcohol and fights are breaking out more consistently. And like there's gaps in the show where it's not running smooth and people are just there's so many things that you can do as an event organizer to mitigate problems and to create a welcoming, safe environment and atmosphere for everybody. How the bouncer treats the crowd. I have meetings with all of the bouncers before we even open doors where I'm like telling them all like this is how I want you to treat people. I don't want you just randomly grabbing somebody in a headlock and throwing them down the stairs type shit. Like that's does not happen at my events. Like everything is dealt with in a very calculated manner to ensure that we don't have issues like that. But yeah, it's like I'd have to call these venues and convince them like, hey, please let us do a show in your venue. And if I was allowed the okay, then it's yeah, I pay the venue for, the sound tech, I pay for a door person, I pay for the promotion, I pay for the designing of the flyers, printing of the flyers, have a street team go and put up posters. Usually I was just the street team early on. I'd go to every city and like put up 100, 200 posters on all of the signs that I could, hand out flyers to everybody that passed me in the streets, try and sell hard copies to people right there on the street. Then I learned about online marketing and promotion through Facebook ads and Google and stuff like that, TikTok. So we can canvas way more people in a shorter amount of time with less time and ad dollars to just put it out in that kind of a way, and a combination of both hitting the streets and doing online promotion. So covering all of those expenses. The hardest thing about doing shows is you as the promoter, you're covering all of that stuff before a cent comes back. You know what I mean? Like I'm covering all of these expenses. I get local artists to help as well with the show. I give them tickets to sell for the show. They keep a portion of the proceeds from those tickets, and then the tickets that they sell, we take that money and pool it into paying for the headliners. We book a headliner that's generally has a good draw, somebody that's going to sell tickets online, and somebody that the openers are excited about opening for, somebody that they look up to, that they idolize, and then. Yeah, and then once all the math is done at the end of the night, creating spreadsheets and implementing all the numbers and saying this cost this and this cost that, and this is the money that came in equals how much we actually make or lose at the end of the night. And trust me, there's not every show is a knock out of the park. A lot of shows, it's a struggle to get by, or you end up losing a little bit of money on this show. Or if I have a 50-date tour, some shows make money, some shows don't or make more money, so it kind of evens out and eventually walk away with a profit at the very end if it's promoted well and you cover all of those steps. But it's like it's not easy. I've seen so many people try to get into this industry and be like, oh, I see what Robbie G's doing, I'm just going to try and do the same thing, and they just fall flat on their face and then give up after the first few times that it doesn't go well, or they lose a lot on one show and can never do it again. And the only thing that's kept me standing is every time that I lost, every time that I fell on my face, I got back up again and I kept going.
Gems, bro.
It's a lot, man. I know I go brr on a
I
tangent.
love it. And I'm just sitting here listening, soaking it up. So you began as your own street team. I love that. I was visualizing you handing out flyers, passing out tickets, posting the posters on the streets. But then you learned about online marketing and Facebook advertising, which I'm like a huge fan of, obviously. So when you, I'm curious, like, so now it's 2025, 2026. If someone's now wanting to make that circle that you were discussing earlier, starting local, taking that big breath and expanding out. So someone's got a venue locked and loaded. They're like, cool. And they're just like, hey, I just want to do one show at a time. Like, I'm not trying to do 200 yet. I just want to do like one show first, test run. And like, I've got the mindset. I'm going to pick myself back up. Don't care if the show fails. I just want to go through the process, right? Okay, they've got the venue locked and loaded. They're like, okay, I'm going to headline my own show and I'm going to get two or three homies that are great artists to also. How do they go about, let's say we want to use Facebook advertising to market that show and sell tickets. How would they go about doing that?
Open up ads manager. Um, but definitely research. Hiring me as a coach so I can teach them and walk them through how to actually do this is probably a good idea. Or just finding anybody in their space that understands it a little bit. There's YouTube tutorials that you can watch. There's courses you can buy online. That's how I learned. I bought courses. I hired people to teach me how to do it and how to walk me through the steps. I just got off a coaching call before this teaching another guy how to set up ads for his ads manager and how to promote a new music video that he released. He couldn't figure out how to boost it on Instagram because it was longer than 1 minute or 2 minutes or whatever. And I'm like, ads manager, pull it up. And we did it and walked him through how to get that all set up. So yeah, it's just learning. The hardest thing is like people will spend a crazy amount of money expecting an ROI, and if they don't know what they're doing, they're going to end up burning through cash. So, and I've done that
Mm.
myself. I've spent $1,000 promoting a show that only brought in $500 in ticket sales and been like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? So, you don't want to be in that position. You want to learn how to spend the money effectively, how to target properly, how to niche down into figuring out, how to sell it. But it's simple. It's all there. The information's there. You can use ChatGPT now. It'll give you all the steps on how to do things. And you want to target, like, if you're an artist that makes music like Mac Miller, you want to target people like Mac Miller, like that like Mac Miller. And then you go into Google and go, give me a list of 10 artists that are like Mac Miller, and it'll give you 10 artists that make music like him. And then you target people who like those 10 artists. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not rocket science. It's just understanding marketing and understanding that there's people out there that might like what you make if you make music that's similar to X person. And we want to be like, oh, I make my own unique music. I'm different than everybody else. But truly, your music probably sits in some sort of pocket that sounds like another artist. And it's just finding those people, finding your avatar, as they call it, or whatever, the person, your ideal client, ideal person that wants to listen to your music, or the ideal person that's going to buy a ticket to X show. So yeah, learning Facebook Ads Manager is key.
In terms of, building a real income as an artist, what do you feel like going into this next year, next era of music? What do you think is the best way, right? And let's say that this is an artist who is serious, they're putting out music, they're making good content, right? And they're doing shows. They're not doing lots of shows, but they're doing shows. It's like, okay, this is an artist that is serious. They just don't know what to do. What do you
Mhm.
feel like is the best way for them to start making like a real income, like a real living where they could actually like pay their bills and live off music? What do you feel like is like the route, the best way to do it?
Well, I'm a big fan of multiple revenue streams. So you want to find your pillars: merchandise, streaming, touring, sync, and maybe something else. Like if you're good at engineering and producing or mixing and mastering music, then that can be a revenue stream for you as well as an artist. There's different ones, obviously, that you can create. I created a brand new one this year by doing retreats, and I just sold like ten retreat spots yesterday for a retreat that I'm doing in the summer where people come out to my home and hang out with me. And we go on some adventures together and make a song in the studio and things like that. Like thinking outside of the box is super key. I wrote a book and put that out. I sold more books than any CD that I'd put out before then, because people just wanted to hear my story in like a book form, and tons of people read books. So that was like a key one. So it's just finding your pillars and then slamming all of those pillars. Like for streaming revenue, people can crush it off of streaming revenue. There's some artists that don't tour anywhere at all. You don't need to tour if your streaming numbers are great. There's some artists that are getting 1 to 2 million streams a month, which is $5,000 to $10,000 in revenue. You get about $5,000 for every million streams. You can make a living just off of streams if you can get your stream numbers up. And it doesn't mean you have to have one song that's hitting 1 million or 2 million a month. You need to have 100 songs. You need to have catalog where if you have, I think, what is it, 100 songs times 10,000 streams each, I'm pretty sure that's the math, is 1 million. So if you have 100 songs getting 10,000 streams a month, which is not that fucking much, that's 1 million streams, and that equals $5,000. And most people can quit their 9 to 5 making like anywhere from 5 to 10K a month. You know what I mean? That's 50 to $100,000, and you don't really have to have too much cost associated with that. Um, if you can get your song produced and mixed for like 100, $200, you can create 100 songs times $200. It costs you $20,000 to create that, and you can end up making $100,000 in a year off of the streams from that. So it's just a matter of making the numbers work, but then also adding the other things to it. Merch, I make a ton of money off of merch. I've sold over $1 million in merchandise in my career, and like with at least 50 to 60% profit margins on that. So that's significant amount of income off of just selling shirts and t-shirts and hats. I do all sorts of unique items. I do collector cards, I do lanyards, I do calendars. We got the new 2026 calendar about to drop. I've already sold about 50 of them without even posting it. You can set up things for pre-order, which is key. Like artists need to recognize you don't even need to have the product in your hands before you can start selling it. If you've got people that want to buy something from you, set up a pre-order link, sell 20 hoodies before you even have the hoodie done, and you can collect all that money, use some of it to pay for the actual product, ship it all out to everybody, fulfill on everything that you say that you're going to do, be impeccable with your word, which is one of the four agreements. If you haven't read that book, I encourage you to do so. Don
Love that
Miguel,
book.
incredible book, but like follow through on what you say you're going to do. You can make money off of YouTube revenue, off of Facebook revenue now, Instagram, like all of these sites pay money, Snapchat. If you have content that's good, and they are posting consistently, nail people over the head with your content. You should be posting at least once a day. If you can do two, three, or four times a day, that's what the best artists are doing. And it doesn't have to be super polished. It doesn't have to be super high edited stuff. You can literally just be you hanging out with your homies, sharing that content usually goes more viral than the stuff that's super well edited and polished. I find is just like the organic stuff, and learn about how to post content that's like hook driven, that's capturing an audience in a very specific way, that pattern interrupts, that does something a little bit different. Um, yeah, so you can make money that way. And then obviously touring, you can make money off of that, just doing small shows. But the big thing that I would say when it comes to touring, you were asking like, how do you get shows here and there? Do open mics. Start small. There, every town has open mics. It's like open mic Thursday here, open mic Monday at this bar. If you're in a bigger city, you could do open mics literally every night of the week if you want to get your chops up. And yeah, you might even only be doing one or two or three songs every time you do it, but every time you do it, you're getting over your nerves. You're stepping up in front of people that don't know who you are, and you're trying to win them over. And yes, it's going to be shaky at the beginning. And yes, you're going to mess up and like, screw up your lyrics sometimes here and there. But like if you practice, you rehearse, you care about the product, you care about trying to reach people, and then you spend that time connecting with people one on one. You don't just like show up, do your song, and leave. You show up, you hang out with people in the smoker area or inside the venue, you chat with people, you come there with CDs, you walk around the entire room, you talk to everybody. If you say hi to 100 people and say, "Hey, I've got a new CD, would you purchase it for $10?" You might get 80 no's, but you might get 20 yeses and walk away with $200 that night. You know what I mean? And that's what I used to do like early on. I would walk around venues with a stack of CDs and just like ask people if they wanted to buy my shit. I would go out into lines with 100 people and just walk down the line. And yeah, I'm going to get tons of no's, but every now and then I'm going to get a yes where someone's gonna be like, "Yeah, I'll buy your book or I'll buy your CD." I still do that to this day. I just was on tour with Dax, and he had like 500 people in line before getting into the concert. And I'd go through the line just trying to sell CDs and books to people, like have my debit card machine and accepting cash like right there, and just boom, 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 just like selling stuff to people before they even enter the venue. I'm already winning before the doors are even open. You know what I mean? I've already created connections with people. And monkey see, monkey do. If somebody sees somebody buying a CD off somebody that they don't know, they're like, "Oh, they're supporting him. Sure, maybe I'll support him too."
I'm so fucking fired. This interview is lit. Like I'm
Close,
hyped as fuck right now.
close, dog.
I'm so fucking like this is so fucking sick. Okay, bro,
Thank
I
you.
don't even know what to ask you next. I have like a million things I want to ask you, but I want to heart I want to focus on something first. The fact that you've already done well over seven figures and you're still hand to hand motherfucking in line with your shit is fucking dope. We got artists who are too afraid or too up on their fucking high horse. I'm gonna
Yeah.
talk my shit. They even
Egotistical.
post on fucking social media, and this motherfucker bought a house, 7 figures, still motherfucking hand to hand combat with his shit. And it's like, that's dope as like I'm so hyped that you just said that. I didn't know that. Um, I want to ask about something though. I'm really curious, right? So like the multiple streams of income thing, that fired me up when you were talking about it. I've heard both sides, right? Like I originally heard like that's how millionaires multiple streams of income. Then I've heard people be like, that's that's a truth, that's a lie or something. Like it's a fact that's not true. When you're starting out, you want to focus on one thing. So I just want to ask about that, where it's like, okay, let's pretend I'm an up and like brand new artist, not even brand new to the marketing thing.
Hmm.
Would you tell me, yes, build all five right now, or would you say, hey, let's go ahead and build one at a time? Like, how would you advise an artist or myself to go about that part?
Hmm. I would say that you get what you believe in. So whoever told you like you need multiple streams of income to make a lot of money, they're right. And whoever said you only need one stream of income to make money, they're right too. Whatever you believe and put your time and energy into is what manifests in your life. Like that's just facts of law of attraction. That's how this universe works. You can learn that by reading the book Ask and It Is Given by Jerry and Esther Hicks. That book changed my life.
Love that book.
You got to recognize that where your energy go or attention goes, energy flows. That's the saying. And so if I believe in my mind that I can only make money by niching down and focusing on one thing, I can make a killing at that one thing. I know that. I believe that. I'm so powerful with my manifesting and my power. If I only focused on stream revenue, I could probably make my streaming revenue go through the fucking roof because I would just put all of my energy and attention on that, and that would just crush. And then I also know that if I split myself out, which I like doing, I don't want to be focused on just posting content every day and trying to get my streams up. I love touring. I love meeting people one on one and connecting with them, and like performing live is like a big passion of mine, and learning how to get over those fear hurdles of like performing in front of 10 people or 100 people or 500 or 1,000 to now doing shows with like 5,000 people in front of arenas and be able to do that confidently is like I love that challenge of stepping into a new room or and like feeling like it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller because I've elevated so much. So I enjoy that. I enjoy the process of doing merchandise and like feeling the garments and trying to get higher quality stuff and going to like here's a quick little gem for people. Go to Urban Planet when they do their buy one get two items free sale, and you buy fucking 50 track pants for like $5 or $10 a pop, and then you go and slap your logo on it and sell them for $40 a piece. That's game right there. I do that shit. I go to Urban Planet and walk out with 10 garbage bags filled of merch. I have the lineup waiting like for an hour for me to get through my checkout because I just keep bringing more and more and more and just stuff it on and then slap my logo on those bitches and fucking sell them. You know what I mean?
I've never heard of Urban Planet, bro.
Yeah, it's just like anything like a Walmart or a freaking
Can you my bad. Can you buy I'm on Urban Planet looking at this shit right now. Can you go it looks like you can buy shit online. Is Urban Planet do they wholesale too
uh
online?
I don't know. I don't know if they do. I
Okay,
should
got
probably
it.
look into that. I probably should look into that, but I don't. And
Because
like
I've heard of because I've used Printful. That's where I get shit. I'll get shit off Printful, have it sent over to me.
yeah,
Um,
or like Vistaprint is one that people use. I used to use Vistaprint early on.
okay. So this is really interesting. You've got me, bro. I want to expose myself. You have me wanting to do shit like this because me personally, I've always been not always, but for a long time, I have the mantra for me has been I want to make money from my sweats and slippers. So I'm not like you where I don't like touring and I don't even like going to concerts that much. Not really.
Mhm.
I don't love leaving the house all that much. I go to sleep really early and wake up really early. And so that's why I've gone into the coaching space because I'm like, great, I can talk with awesome people. I can be on my computer. I can be at home. So the internet, the magical internet money's always been like my jam. Let's say we're talking for me. Okay. I want to make the magical internet money with the music. I can fully produce, mix and master which means it costs me literally $0 to make songs. So I can pump out as many as possible.
Mhm.
Um, I love filming content. I love making content. I love making videos for my songs, vertical, horizontal. I can make as many songs as I want. And I like merch, like right, anything where I can be involved in the house, right? What avenues would you recommend I go do, and how would I approach those?
I mean, if you like, obviously you're doing it on the coaching side of things to create digital money and helping people. And I think anybody that has a skill and is passionate about it can teach somebody else about that skill and like create either one-on-one coaching or creating a course. There was this girl that was boasting about how she made $2 million off of a course that she did about feet, dude. You know what I mean? You can literally create a course about
Wait,
anything.
what was she doing? What was she doing with the
I
feet?
don't know. I didn't go too deep into it, but yeah, it's like something about feet. It is probably like a $10 or $12 low ticket course that, people who are into, there's so many people into feet, dude. That Feet Finder app or whatever, people who take pictures of their feet and fucking sell it online, they make millions of dollars off of their
That's
feet.
fucking well. So I'm thinking if it's some reflexology shit, right? That makes sense. But what do we? That's what I want to know about
Could
this
could
feet
be,
course.
could be, or it could be her just teaching people how to make money off of taking pictures of their feet and putting it on Finder. There's people who like fetishes. Dude, people are fucking weird, man. People will buy fucking soiled boxers off of fucking people. You know what I mean? People will buy
Right.
dirty panties off of some worker girl that, you know what I mean, that they're
Yeah,
really
totally.
shit like.
Shit like this, these kinds of stories, this might sound weird, but these inspire me because if something that weird and obscene can make a human being $2 million, I'm thinking my fucking music can do that. My fucking knowledge and expertise could definitely do it if this woman is talking about shit like that, right?
Yep, there's some people here in Kelowna that created a course. They sold 150,000 of their courses for I think it was like $100. So they made $15 million here in Kelowna. Yeah, just doing really great targeted ads. And it's a course on, I think, how to like set up, it's a course on courses.
Oh, I hate that, but I love it.
But it's like, dude, we just made $15 million showing you how to freaking make a course. You could probably make 15,000 and it only cost you $100 to do it. Who's not gonna fucking do that? You know what I mean? Like anybody in their right mind's gonna be like, oh, if you break it down for me and it's pretty simple and I watch all these video modules on how to do it, it's people don't have follow through. And a lot of people will 100 out of 150,000 that bought that course, maybe 1,000 of them actually ended up going through with it and following through and making back their money. But maybe all of them made their $100 back. I don't fucking know. But I know that the money's out there. And if you throw up a fucking net that's big enough on the internet, you're going to catch all that digital money and put it in your pocket. So you can do that times 10, times 10, times 10, times 10, as much as you want. If you really want to get into the merch game, we can chat about that too, because I'm starting a merch company now where I'm going to be helping artists build their merchandise line from design all the way to execution and fulfillment. I do a lot of my own fulfillment too. Now I've got like merch here at home and I have my assistant, help with the packing and sending out orders, but I did everything by myself like early on and like signing stuff, putting them in the bubble mailers, taking them down to the post office. I'd have like 100, 200 packages and they'd be like, what the heck? Like, what are you selling? I'm like, oh, I'm selling CDs and books, man. They're like, what? How the fuck? I'm just like, yeah, dude. Like people got small amounts of money. And if they believe in you enough, they'll pay 20, 30, 40, $50 times that by 100. That's $5,000, you know what I mean? Or $10,000 when you have a decent product. So, yeah, if you want to start getting into merch, like you probably have, do you have an album? You've got an
I was
album?
about to ask you, but I do. I'll let you finish. I have a question about that.
Have you made hard copies of it yet?
Oh, like I've done albums in the past multiple times. Yeah, yeah. They're hella old though. Okay, let
Yeah,
me ask you the question because
that's
you're
good. But
asking.
then also have a USB too. This is from my homie Tom McDonald. I just bought his latest two albums, and his package came with like you could buy just the CDs or buy the CDs with the USB. This is a dope thing that I have too. This is my USB wristband. So it's literally a friggin' wristband. It's got my logo on it, Robbie G. It's got my company logo on it, and boom, it is a USB that has all of my albums, over 10 albums of music, like 150 songs or some odd, and I sell those for like $30 a pop on my website and when I'm out on tour. So yeah, just creating products and selling them. But what were you gonna ask?
I was gonna show you. I did the same exact thing. Once I hit 10 years with my music, I put out this thing called Decade Collection. Same exact thing. Did a little tin case, signed it, USB and everything. It had fuck tons of music. I sold those for 50, and that was great. Um, Question for you. So I have an album coming out calling it Views from the Sunset. Okay.
Mhm.
Fully
Yeah.
self-produced by me. And I'm gonna have the album, and also my friend and I are putting together a documentary for it,
Yeah.
right? He's creative directing it. Now,
Yep.
one of the things I'm gonna pride myself on with this album is I'm not putting it on Spotify. I don't want to. I only want to sell it direct to consumer. Right
Yep.
now, my plan is just like use Stripe, pay what you want, all digital. Like I'm gonna just send you the link to listen to the album and also like a link to watch the video. None of it's going public.
Mhm.
Right now, my plan is literally just like I have a fat, warm network, obviously, as you know. I have a huge, warm network of people that I've delivered fuck tons of value to that I can just hit up and be like, album's out, would love for you to be a part of it. It's pay what you want. That's the
Yeah.
plan for right now. Um, but like, what other things would you suggest to me in terms of me getting ready for this?
Well, one, I would do merch bundles. So don't just do the physical product with the, the tin pack and the USB. Also have options for people. I'm big on the small, medium, large option where like you can get the big fan experience where it's like you get a hoodie and a t-shirt and the album and maybe even a personalized note that says thank you. And then you can also encourage fans to pre-order your stuff and then add them into the liner notes when you actually do the physical copies themselves. I've seen a lot of artists doing that. Dub FX was the first artist that I saw doing that. One of my homies here out west, Snack the Ripper, he just did that on his latest
Oh, you
album.
just came out, you cut out.
Oh, did you get that last part? Hello?
Now you're there. Now you're there.
Yeah, Dub FX is somebody who first did that, was putting in fans' names into the liner notes, and he actually recorded a song, the final song, him shouting out all of the people who had pre-ordered his album. So it's actually immortalized in the freaking album itself. So you can
That's
do
sick.
creative things like that. There's ways to like make your fans feel special and feel part of the project. Another thing you can do is these crowdfunding type of communities, which are you familiar with Mike? I think we talked about him a little
Oh
bit.
yeah.
Mike, he's like my favorite artist. He created the community called Grouped, which is an app that you as an artist
Oh,
join where you can create a community of people who subscribe to your grouped account for like $7 or $5 or $10 a month, and then they get access to hear all your unreleased stuff before it goes out. And then you can set up a poll where people vote on it. So you've got like 30 tracks that are unreleased and be like, which song do you guys like most that you want to see released next on Spotify or something? People will pick the song that they like the most. They'll feel included in it. Then he'll even be like, here's one kind of artwork I want to do. Here's another kind of artwork, A or B. Which one do you like more? People pick A or pick B, and the one that gets the most votes, he ends up using as the artwork. So your fans become so much more connected to it. It creates a story so that when the song comes out, that fan is like looking at it on their Spotify, being like, that's the artwork I chose. And then they show it to their friends. Yo, Mike just released this new song, and I helped him pick the artwork for this. That just creates these stories for people, right? So I'm going to start doing that top of the year, creating a grouped account myself because one, I want to support Mike, but also I have so many artists and friends, I mean, fans that or anytime I share snippets in the studio where I'm like, hey, I'm working on this song in the studio, they're like, oh my God, I want that song. I need to listen to it now. Like, I love it. And I'm like, it's not even mixed and mastered yet. They're like, I don't fucking care. I just want to hear it. I'm just like, I need to create a space where they can go and listen to that unreleased music and just love it before it even comes out, before it's even mixed and mastered. And it can change and like reiterate before it comes out. Like a lot of songs Mike puts on his Only Steves, which is what he calls his little community. And I shouldn't say little, it's fucking
little. I was about to say.
tens of thousands of people, and he makes millions of dollars off of that every year, off of the people that are just subscribed to it. I'm a subscriber on it because I'm a massive fan of him and I love him and I just want to support him. But yeah, like you can create these communities where you can give them unreleased music that's direct, the D2C, direct to your consumer, direct to your fans, where they get to consume it and become a part of the journey as it gets released before it even gets released. And I'm doing that a lot more with my stuff. I have an album that's been out for 6, 7 months now that's not on Spotify or anything. The only way to get it is to buy the hard copy of it. And I've taken in a bunch of pre-orders. I've sold them while I've been out on tour, and it's exciting. I'm at the merch booth and they're like, "Hey, what's the new album?" I'm like, "This is the new album. You can only get it here. You can only get it here. You can't get it on Spotify. You can't get it on iTunes, YouTube, any of that shit. This is how you get it. Eventually, I'm going to release it to those things, but I'm learning that the new model is the D2C and like getting the fans to experience something before it's like that adage of like people want to be a part of something before it goes mainstream, before it gets bigger. They want to like feel like they're in at the grassroots. And it's the same thing with your projects and your albums, is get them in there. So those are the pieces of advice I would say. And definitely have merch to sell. Like if you do the Urban Planet or whatever route that you go, even if it's 10 items, even if it's 20 items, small runs, it's better to have it sold out. Companies like Supreme have shown us how to do this. Nelk Boys do this with their merch runs, limited edition items. They'll do 300 items. Once it's gone, it's fucking gone. So it creates that urgency for fans to be like, oh my God, I want to buy it. The drop hits, and within 5, 10 minutes, they're sold out. They probably could have sold 3,000 items, but fuck that. They want to sell 300, make it sold out, have those items then hit third-party sites like eBay and whatnot, and people are selling them from two, three, four times the amount that they paid for them to the super fans that are like, fuck, I didn't get it when it dropped, but now I'm going to buy it. It's the same thing with tickets and scalpers. People are buying up tickets when they go on sale at first, and then the event sells out and they sell those tickets for two, three, four, five, 10 times the value of what they paid for them. It's creating scarcity, urgency, all of these marketing tactics that are clutch. And it's not like you're trying to won over people or like pull the wool over people's eyes. You just understand that like there's power in creating scarcity for your shit. And if you have a fan base of 10,000 people or even 1,000 people, create 1% of that, a product that 1% of those people will buy. And eventually, once the other people find out about it, they're gonna wish that they had a found out about it. So when's the next drop? When's the next drop? You know what I mean? So I'd rather sell out like 50 of my next calendars than doing 150 of them and like, taking a while to sell the last 75 or 50. I'd rather just sell 50, have them sold out. That's it. You can only get those first 50. And if I do decide later I want to reissue them and there's so much demand that I need to do another 50 or another 100, sure, I'll do it. I'm sure I could sell 250 calendars if I really wanted to. It might take a little bit longer, but I'd rather just do a small amount, sell it out, and then build from there. So that was another long-winded answer, as all of them are, but yeah.
I that time I was actually taking notes too. Yeah, you kind of got me rethinking what I'm going to do because originally I was going to keep it really simple, all digital, pay what you want. But now I'm thinking about doing more of a tier. You pay this much, you get this. You pay this much, you get this. You pay this much. Maybe I do make it, hey, it's pay what you want. But if you pay this much and still make it the tier. So even if you pay less, you'll still get the album,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. If you pay under $50, you get this. If you pay over 100, I'm going to toss in a t-shirt. If you pay $200, I'm going to toss in a t-shirt, a hoodie, and a personalized video thank you from me being like, dude, thank you so much for supporting this project. And what are they going to do with that video? Share that shit.
They
They're
are
gonna
going
be
to
like,
share the
oh my
fuck.
God, Leezy sent me this fucking video of him thanking me. This is so cool. I'm gonna now post it on my Instagram and my Facebook and my Snapchat and tell people how Leezy shouted me out in this video and fucking it's so cool. It makes me feel special. You know what I mean? And then more
Question.
do that
I wrote 50, 100, and 200 right now. Could there be a 1K?
package, 100%.
I was thinking of doing, I don't know if this would work, but I was thinking of doing 1K and you get like two one-on-one coaching calls or something with me.
Totally.
What do you think I could do if I wanted to do one 1K package? What would that look like?
Whatever is a high, whatever you think is a high value to somebody. Could be video calls, could be coaching calls if they're artists and they want to learn about things. But I would also have the option of like, here's a coaching call for an hour if you're an artist wanting to learn or a music producer wanting to learn about the music business. But if you're just strictly a fan and you just want to support me, let's just hang out on Zoom for an hour and we'll fucking chop it up. We'll do whatever you want to do. You want to play a card game? You grab a stack of cards. I'll grab a stack of cards. We'll literally play Go Fish on Zoom if we want to. You know what I mean? Like
We'll go chess.
make it whatever you
We'll
want. Yeah,
watch a
you
fucking movie together.
100%, literally anything, man. I do all sorts of weird shit with my fans. I do zooms on zoomies. So
What's
we do
Zoomy? Zoomy's the
like
clothing store?
no, like mushrooms.
Oh, Zoom's on.
Like I'll do a zoom on zooms, you
That's
know,
hilarious.
with my peeps, just like just for the fuck of it, you know what I mean? Just like fun, cool stuff that you can do and create an interesting and memorable experience for people that they're going to talk about forever.
Yeah, I'm writing this.
Note takers are money makers. Lazy's out here taking notes.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, he's a money maker.
So here's what I'm thinking I'm gonna do. Well, why would I not take notes? I'm getting free coaching from a seven-figure artist. Like, what kind of stupid fuck wouldn't take notes right now? So here's what I'm thinking. Under 50, pay what you want for the album. Pay what you want. You get the digital album and the documentary. 50, you get a physical CD. 100, you get a shirt and a physical and everything else. 200, you get physical CD, shirt, and hoodie. And then 1K, you get all that other, the album, the documentary.
I'd add a little bit more value into the 200. So like a video, a personal 1 minute long video shout out or something, just because typically a hoodie price is like 70 or $80. And if you're adding another $100 in value to your package, you want to make sure that package has a little bit of extra value. So you got the hoodie value in there and an extra something that doesn't cost you anything to make too, right? It's just your time, little minute long thank you video or something
Okay.
like, or even a personalized note that you're going to write and then add into the package and send with them too. Just like little tidbits of added value that don't really cost you too much time or energy, but mean a lot to the person who's buying it.
Right now, I have four tiers written here. Like, do you think I should just have two or three?
No, four's fine. Dude, some people drop releases like Tom has like 8 different packages, like this package, that package, this package, this package. Another thing to, Tom McDonald? Have you
Yeah,
heard
yeah,
of him?
yeah. Of course, I
Yeah.
follow him.
He'll sell the shit that he's wearing in the music video. So he'll shoot a music video with like a cool fucking vest on that's a custom vest that he made for himself for the video, and then he'll sell it for like $10,000.
Oh my God, he sells that shit?
Cool. Yes, and people buy it. People buy it, super fans. They'll or like a cool vest that he's done and put little fucking tags on and shit like that and little patches and stuff. He'll sell that same thing that he wore in his music video to a super fan that's willing to spend thousands of dollars on it. So the sky is the fucking limit, dude. You can literally create whatever you want with your merch packages.
Huh.
Like I do this, another tidbit. I do lives. I do Facebook lives every week on Thursday where I literally go on live and just sing songs and rap to my fans, and they suggest that I want to hear this song, I want to hear that song. Then they send stars, which creates money in my account. And I was doing at one point this thing where I was like, the person who sends the most stars gets this unique merch item. I'd go to an embroidery spot here in Kelowna and embroider something cool on a piece of merch that I already had, made it a one of one. So it's unique to only one person's going to get this. And the person who sends the most stars, I'm going to ship that product out to them. The amount of people that just jump in, I'd have like $500 in stars on one Zoom. That merch item cost me $20 to make, and I'm selling it technically for like $500 because so many people sent stars to get it, and the one person who sent like 100 $100 worth of stars ends up getting it.
That's fucking wild.
Out of the box shit, bro. It's like, and you're engaging your fans and they're feeling like excited to be a part of it. They're just like, oh, I sent $500. Somebody else sent 1,500. Now another person sent 2,000, and another person says, fuck it, I'm sending 5,000 stars. I really want this item. You know what I mean? Yeah.
This interview was lit. I really enjoyed the interview, bro. I appreciate you. This was awesome. I know we're at the top of the hour.
Yeah.
Um, what would you so what's the final words you want to say, right? Like, where do you want people to follow you to get more information? I mean, if you're an artist listening to this right now, fuck, I'll do the CTA for your ass. If you're an artist listening right now, you got to go hit up Robbie G on Instagram. You have to DM him because Robbie's launching something to help you. Well, can you tell them more about that? Tell them about what it is you're launching and how it's going to help independent artists.
Yeah, so it's the Level Up coaching program. It starts top of the year 2026. We're doing weekly coaching calls. It's a 52-week program. So every week you show up for about an hour and a half. We do a live coaching call with different artists from all over that are trying to get the same thing as you're getting. They want to get their music out to more people. They want to make more money off of their music and they want to change their lives. And that's what I'm trying to do with this program is literally change people's lives and help them realize that they have unlimited power. They have unlimited abundance if they just tap into it. It's all about mindset, belief, understanding the strategies, the steps, the blueprints to how I've done what I've done in my life. I'm literally taking all this information that I've gained and just giving it to you guys so that you can learn and take away the steps of like stumbling and falling on your face so many times like I did, or burning through money through ads that aren't performing well, learning how to target specifically and know how to do this at a high level. So this is the program. I've got three different tiers for it where you can just get the basic level of coaching where you're in for the group coaching calls, 52 calls throughout the whole year. And then there's also another package where it's a little bit more intimate for more one-on-one coaching where we do these kinds of Zooms and just kind of deep dive on your thing. And then an elite tier where you do more Zooms, deep dive with me, but you also are doing a song and a video with me as well, which is kind of a cool thing that I added into that as a gift for the people that want to go real serious with their music. But yeah, it's open for everybody, anybody that's an artist. I got some comedians that have been reaching out with me too. There's another spiritual girl in town that does like sound bowl experiences and she's putting on events and she's going to join the coaching program to learn more about how to sell tickets for her event and how to reach with her listeners more because she just started dropping her sound bowl songs on Spotify and she wants to blow that up a little bit. So like if
Cool.
you're just a creative that's wanting to understand business and understand money and money mindset and learn from somebody who's actually done it, not somebody who's like a grifter that's just like passing by trying to get money and you're out of you. Like I've done this. I'm not some fucking nobody. I've built a following. I've been able to make a living off of music for over a decade, and I'm a hardcore touring musician, and I believe in what I do, and I believe in what I say, and I know that I can change people's lives. So that's the short pitch. I mean, it's not really even a pitch. It's just it is what it is. If you don't want to, all good. Follow my content online. I post a lot of valuable information on my Instagram, on my YouTube, on all that kind of stuff too. So my Instagram is I am Robbie G. IAMROBBIEG. Follow me on there. You can check my website out at robbieghiphop.com if you want to support, get merch, get a book. My book's called Rapper's Guide to an Enlightened Mind. It's my whole life story and teaches you a lot about what I've been through. So that's a cool thing to pick up. You can also just get the ebook, which isn't even the physical printed version. I'll just email you the ebook as well, which is another thing you get. Yeah, that's about it. I'll stop talking. Thank you so much for your time and energy. Lizzie, you're the man. I appreciate you and thank you so much for helping me with my career and helping me set up everything for my masterclass that I did. Lizzie's the man. He's given me a ton of value with what I do. So if you're looking for coaching in the music space, he's crushing it for specifically for producers and producers that want to help build their coaching business as well.
Robbie, thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I got your website pulled. I'm about to buy the book. You know, I'm a big reader. So thank you,
Let's
man. I
go.
appreciate this a lot. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to us continuing to like support each other in our journeys.
Hell yeah, brother. Much
Thanks, bro.
love.
All right, talk soon.